Get credit. Not even paid for us yet. The warehouse was upstairs. Gone flatly gone. 70,000 out in cash. Gone in flame yesterday upstairs.
Holding back his tears, Chandrika, who lost more than $800,000 in unpaid investments, along with 18 birds valued at $90,000, says had there been a proper water supply in the area, much of the damage could have been prevented.
No water at all in Tanapura. No water. Fire truck come, we have no water. Look, the hydrant is just 50 feet away from us. And no water at all.
Melissa Maharaj, the owner of Michelle's Fashion, who also lost more than $600,000 worth of valuables in the fire, which left 8 persons unemployed, is hoping for the best in spite of the incident.
I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how much the losses are, but maybe 500, 600,000. But it's only for a little while. We will get back on our foot soon. Nothing doesn't be forever.
I am Samuel McKnight, reporting for CNC3.
Personal income tax will not be increased to raise government revenue in the upcoming budget. The Finance Minister Larry Hawaii says the man in the street has nothing to worry about, even as he reviews the overall taxation regime. Kamal Georges has more.
It's a done deal. The 2012-2013 budget is, for the most part, complete, says Finance Minister Larry Hawaii, except for tying up some loose ends in relation to the taxation regime. The Finance Minister told the CNC3 early morning show on Friday, while there is still some tweaking to be done to the tax structure, the man on the street can breathe a sigh of relief.
While there's no intention for us to deal with, certainly touch any, and I've said it on this program before, personal income taxation, we certainly are still looking at the rest of the taxation regime to see where there might be room for us to continue to raise revenue, while at the same time not doing anything that would dampen the expansion of the economy, the growth, the continuing expenditure patterns.
Minister Hawaii says the fiscal package will have to cut back on expenditure, which he admits has been on the increase. He stresses that his aim is to strike a balance, as he announced that there are a number of revenue-generating incentives that will be introduced in the new budget as government seeks to get more value for money. With this country's competitiveness index declining sharply, Minister Hawaii also acknowledged the need to foster closer ties with the trade union movement.
If it is possible that we could work with the unions and the business community to see if we could arrive at some kind of maybe some formula for moving the economy forward.
Minister Hawaii said there are quite a few red flags in the state sector that must also be addressed. While he admits he can't deal with all in this budget, expenditure and subsidies to state enterprises is something he wants to get to zero over the next 5 years. I'm Kamal Georges reporting for CNC3 News.
Magistrate Maureen Babulal Gafoor will rule on November 23rd on reigning Soca monarch Marshal Montano's assault matter. The ruling was to be handed down today, but when Montano, accompanied by his attorney Dana Sitahal, went to the Port of Spain Magistrates Court this morning, Babulal Gafoor said that she needed more time to carefully consider the evidence before giving her ruling and postponed her decision to November 23rd. Montano, along with the son of the late Lord Kitchener, Colonel Roberts, Rodney Benjai LeBlanc, and Joel Zan Fevek, are all facing assault charges stemming from a fracas outside of the Zen nightclub on Keith Street, Port of Spain, in April 2007. They were accused of assaulting Brandis Brown, Russell Polanyi, as well as Janelle Leachy and Gerard Bowen outside of the club on April 26th. For all of you fans of the popular ZTV soap opera Choti Bahu, the stars of the show Dev and Radhika are right here in Trinidad. CNC3 News caught up with the on-TV show couple who are married in real life. They told us that they were excited to be back in Trinidad, having first visited in 2010 to promote their show. Back again to perform at their show at the Center of Excellence tomorrow, the couple expressed their heartfelt gratitude to their fans. However, Dev and Radhika admitted to being big fans of one of our own sons of the soil, Brian Lauer.
It is amazing.
Surprised, thoroughly.
Yeah, last year, back 2 years, what event we had, it was a great success.
Yeah, I remember when they had asked us to come to West Indies. What are we going to do in West Indies? I can only think of cricket in West Indies.
You met Brian Lara and
No. It's a dream
I wish
to meet him.
I wish he attends our show. It's like a sincere invitation to him if he comes. It'll be a privilege to have him on our show.
The stars of the popular Zee TV soap opera Choti Bahu. Well, a group of young men from Patna Village and the Beetham Gardens are showing that depressed communities have far more to offer than crime. The men have been part of a 5-week photography course offered by the Citizen Security Program through the Young Men's Christian Association, and their work went on display today at the Medulla Art Gallery in Woodbrook. 15 weeks ago, the young men from Patna Village, Diggle Martin, and the Beetham Estate knew nothing about still and video photography, but this is the outcome of the course provided to them by the Citizen Security Program through the YMCA, the aim of which was to give the youth an alternative to lives of crime.
So together with the YMCA, we have created an environment where young men from these two communities can harness their feelings of insecurity, frustration, rage, anxiety, and translate it into something meaningful for public consumption and enjoyment.
The pictures they took were not only from within their own communities, but other scenic areas across the country. The program first started in 2009 with the sponsorship of the United Nations and also involved some mentoring as well. It worked well for Adam Williams, who told us it took him off the streets.
It's always wise that you build yourself and go study about other people who might lead you to wrong things, because they always say nothing good come out of the Beetham. Sometimes you go have people forcing you to do, well, not forcing you, but pushing you to do bad things, or telling you to go so, like you do a robbery or something, so you just are you head on and know where you're doing, know where you're for.
The Beetham Group has also produced a film which will be aired in the upcoming film festival.
The film is a wake-up call to many. Young men, choose wisely. Faith-based leaders, get involved. Communities, keep your eyes and your hearts wide open.
The group from the Beetham was a very special group. Their commitment, their resilience, their talent really did make it worthwhile.
Some of the youths have already set their eyes on greater things, getting into photography clubs, aiming to develop their skills further. Certainly very proud of them, and congratulations as well. Time now for What You Saw, where we highlight the video and the photos you send us to the address news@cnc3.co.tt. Our first photo comes from Wayne, who says, no wonder they never have a vehicle. Only in Trinidad and Tobago will you see two people pushing a shut-down police car. Then from Danisha telling us that I attended a cremation at the Shore of Peace at Mosquito Creek recently and saw firsthand the rate of coastal erosion and cliff recession taking place. These two pictures give us an idea of the extent of the problem. And finally from Chrissy, who says, beautiful Trinidad and Tobago, some breathtaking views from Sandy Point in Tobago. Well, that's all from me. Golda, have you ever seen a police car being pushed like that before?
No, but I tend to see police cars looking a little bit derelict these days. They're always in, lots of hits and scratches, and I often wonder, who is driving these vehicles?
Chasing bandits, perhaps. Yeah,
perhaps. If you're getting these scratches because you're chasing bandits, that's fine by me. No problem with that. Thank you so much, Samson. It's now time to remind you of the question that you're voting on in our Your Vote segment this evening. And that question is, do you think teachers have legitimate grounds to stay away from classes? Now, we want you to get involved. So text your response to the number 2623. If your response is yes, text Y. If it's no, then text N. We'll give you an update on voting in a short time, and then the final vote at the end of tonight's news. And it's time for your Friday evening sportscast with Roger Sant. And I can't wait to see the sports. I always look forward to it on a Friday.
Yes, and it's rather interesting this evening. And talking about classes, Brian Lara, in a class of his own, 17th West Indian, inducted into the Hall of Fame. Cash for successful 2012 Olympians. And the medals keep coming in for them. And we're 6 weeks away from the annual UE Half Marathon. Details next.
You're talking to your best friend when
You're getting a clean day, family.
you get cash back.
Yeah, darling.
You're talking to your best friend when you realize you're always a winner. You're talking to your best friend when you get a makeover. You suddenly feel like dancing. Every dog gets its day. You have your cake and eat it too. Nightfalls. You're talking to your best friend. Whatever else happens, always get extraordinary value with Digicel. Get $1 cash back for every paid minute on local Digi-to-Digi calls made during the day, so you can talk more at night. Be extraordinary. Digicel.
A mysterious knight arrived at a dirty castle with a bottle of Sif cream. Only Sif's millions of microparticles could lift the cauldron's burnt-on dirt and go on cleaning. So the knight was crowned queen. Sif cream, always a beautiful ending.
Drink it up now, drink it up now. Drink it up now, drink it up now.
Enjoy the new look and same great taste today. Ginseng up, the roots of all power.
Hey, this is Swapy and it's all about the National Training Agency presents Career Fair and Skills Expo 2012. Students, graduates, job seekers, or even looking for a change in your career, come and experience the ultimate event. It's absolutely free on September 18th and 19th at the Center of Excellence, Mokoya. On September 21st, God City Mall, Laramie. And on September 27th, God City Mall, Lowlands, Tobago. Also, here's your last chance to register for the World Skills TT competition. Be there in a 40.
The West Indian players over in Sri Lanka turned out in force today to see Brian Lara inducted into the ICC Hall of Fame at a gala ceremony in Sri Lanka. Lara became the 17th West Indian player to be inducted into the Hall of Fame and was honoured alongside England's women's cricketer Enid Bakewell, who is only the third women's inductee after teammate captain Rachel Heo-Flint and Australian Belinda Clark. Bakewell was an all-rounder from 68 to 82, who in 12 tests scored 1,078 runs at 59.88 and took 50 wickets at 16.62. She is one of only 5 cricketers, male or female, to have hit a century and taken 10 wickets in the same test, a feat she achieved in her final match against the West Indies at Edgbaston. Lara's induction, as ICC Chief Executive Dave Richardson put it, was, quote, a mere formality. The former West Indies captain, Richie Richardson, spoke of the promise that Lara had shown as a youth and the manner in which he had, unlike so many others, lived up to those high and lofty expectations. Congratulations once again to Brian Lara. And the Trinidad and Tobago cricket selectors have named the Champions League squad for the annual T20 tournament, which will be staged in South Africa next month. The squad is captained by Dinesh Ramdin and includes all-rounder Riyad Emrit, Jason Mohammed, William Perkins, Evan Lewis, Samuel Badri, Kevon Cooper, Yannick Otley, Sherwin Ganga, opener Adrian Barrett, along with Lendell Simmons, pacer Ravi Rampal, middle-order batsman Darren Bravo, Nevin Stewart, and Shannon Gabriel. Chairman of selectors Dudnath Ramkisoon said the squad represents an impressive blend of youth and experience who can successfully challenge for top honours. Swimmer George Bovell III, a bronze medalist at the 2004 Athens Olympic Games, was among those who received cash incentives last evening as Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar honoured those athletes from the 2012 London Olympic Games. The PM also announced the launch of a new program, the National Excellence in Sport for Trinidad and Tobago. The project Nest Astil Ren has more.
Former Digicel Rising Star winner Kay Allen set the tone for the evening's proceedings with her rendition.